Hey everyone, welcome back to another market closing live stream. Well, we've got quite a bit of euphoria in the stock market right now, and the question now is, will it last? And when are we going to see another potential negative catalyst in this market? Take a look at some of the details of what's going on in the market today. We've got the Dow Jones up 1.1%, S&P up 0.72, NASDAQ actually lagging, and the NASDAQ has been leading the last 3 days in the technology sector. Usually the NASDAQ has been well outperforming the Dow Jones. In fact, we even closed some days this week where we had essentially the NASDAQ closing at, significant higher numbers, like 1.5%, but the Dow Jones potentially closing flat. Then you've had the Russell 2000 that has sort of had mixed days, sort of depended on what's been going on, particularly in the market, especially when it came to airlines showing a lot of distress, but then potentially our travel ban getting lifted, which it does appear to be that the travel ban is getting lifted at the moment for flights coming into the United States for vaccinated individuals from places like Europe, India, and other countries. At the same time, we've got bonds like the U.S. 10-year Treasury up to 1.577 again. This is up about 0.6 from earlier today and yesterday. A little bit of a move up here on more retail spending than expected. Oil almost at that 85 for Brent. And worth noting here that Michael Burry told CNBC that he is not shorting crypto, but does believe that crypto is in a bubble. Worth taking a brief look here at crypto. We've got crypto, including Bitcoin, at a new high here, 61,406, recent high. It's not an all-time high. Got Ethereum sitting at 38.53 and Cardano at 222. It's really Bitcoin playing a lot of catch up here, given that Cardano and Ethereum have had some nice runs here. All right, so let's take a look at what we've got in some stocks right now. Let's take an exploratory look. 23andMe at 18.58%, Hut 8 Mining 16%, Xpeng 8.33% here. The Chinese autos doing well. You got BYD up almost 4%, Li Auto 4%, NIO 3.5%, and Xpeng up 8.34%. Nice moves by these companies here. Interesting also to see that Coinbase finally moving up 6.88%. This has been a lagger in the space. It's been a little bit of a painful one to watch Coinbase, especially as we wait for their revenue to transition from more transaction-based to service-based. That would be like, hey, instead of charging you so much for buying cryptocurrencies, now we're going to make money off of offering you other services like loans or margin or whatever else. Burry party boober. Okay. So Faraday Futures up 6.6%. A lot of enthusiasm in the energy stocks right now. We've got Tesla. Let's take a look here. Tesla. Wow, Tesla up 2.54% right now, closing at a pretty recent high here. And this is up 2.54%, almost 840. Really feels like it's hitting a resistance there at 840. Look at this channel, folks, that we have been in on Tesla. We've been riding this channel since May 12th. May 12th, the bottom over here. These were some shopping opportunities in that 550 range. I went shopping them. I have not bought anything Tesla related except for a call option about a week ago. Obviously, that call is doing pretty decently right now. Sometimes in the short term, they don't, though. In the short term, calls can go either way. And you hope to be directionally right, closer to XP. But yeah, this has been pretty incredible. We don't really have any technical analysis to do here other than the fact that we might be visiting here very soon all-time highs, which we do have a potential ceiling at about 885, almost a triple touch here at that 880 to 885 level. I'm going to go ahead and put a little marker for 880, and we're going to make this I'm going to make this a little bit of a softer marker. There we go, purple. And then, of course, we had our all-time intraday high of 900. Actually, I'm pretty sure we went higher than that at one point. I feel like we went to like 904 at one point, but for some reason, Weeble's only showing 904 or 900.4. But anyway, Very nice trend. Straight, solid trend up, and the trend has been accelerating, which is worth noticing. Over here, the trend that we had for Tesla was a lot softer here, coming out of May, going into June. The trend moving over into the sort of July to September range was a slightly higher degree than what we've seen in May, or what we had seen in May. And now we've exceeded that trend again. In fact, if we go ahead and draw another trend line here, let's go ahead and grab. There we go. We could see the you could see the change in the slope here pretty substantially. So we'll see if it lasts. Tesla has this tendency of doing these 21-day runs, and it'll be very fascinating to see if we end up consistent with a nice 21-day run. We'll see. So far, if we go to the normal candlesticks, I mean, we've just been on a straight uptrend here. It's really been a minute since we've had a gap down. We did have a gap down over here. Weeble's not showing it right now. Okay. Making it a little bit harder for us, Weeble. Whatever. All right, I'll go back to the average candlesticks. Doesn't matter so much. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on this. Kind of exciting, because if we get to 900 or 1,000, it might be an opportunity to start getting rid of some call options finally, especially since call options have been bleeding as a result of a crushed volatility for the stock. Wonder if volatility is finally going up for Tesla. Let's take a look at that. Let's go Tesla and do an HVG here. Historic volatility graph. And we've bounced off of some of the lows right now. We're at about 16.7 in terms of volatility. That's definitely a low out of the last 100-day average. 100-day average of volatility about 31. But we've bounced off the low of about 12 for historic volatility on Tesla. Good. So what else have we here? Hut 8's just doing phenomenally. I've got a video coming out about the miners. I think it's coming out at like 3:45 or something like that, so stay tuned for that. Let's see here. Okay. Oopsies. There we go. All right, let's take a look at Matterport for a moment. Got 20 minutes to the closing bell. So Matterport down. We've got a 50-day moving average over here, 200-day moving average. Our red line, we don't even have 200 days yet, because apparently hasn't been public for 200 days. Is that true? It's been less than 200 days? Why do I not feel like I believe that? That would be about a little bit over 6 months. February, 8, 6. Oh, so any day now we should be getting our 200-day moving average. Fascinating. Anywho, all right, so Matterport rotating down about 2.3%. Looks like some of the SPACs and higher valuation companies are having a little bit of a rougher move here. Although then you've also got bad guidance by Corsair. So they're kind of flat where they were on the day. But higher valuation company like Lemonade rotating down. Interesting that you've also got Walgreens and Rite Aid moving down, because they smashed it on much more COVID vaccination sales or related sales than expected. Matterport at 1879. Redfin dropping about 1.9 here. Spirit Air, so you got a little bit of a U-turn here. Beyond Meat, Airlines. Affirm's actually down about 1.3. SoFi 1.12. I mean, they can't go up every day. Wayfair, wow, Wayfair started the day green and is now negative about 0.92. Wonder how the SPY's doing. Let's see, SPY. Okay, so SPY on the day, it's certainly had a nice trend up throughout the day. So I'd say the S&P's done well, but it's really only moved about 0.25% net to the upside. Hut 8 really just taken the tendies today. Macy's up here as well. So the airlines, that's probably because of retail sales numbers, especially brick and mortar retail sales compared to online sales, doing very well. So that makes sense that you've got Macy's moving on that kind of news here. Actually makes a lot of sense. Goldman Sachs killing it, up almost 4%. It's big for something like a Goldman Sachs. Tesla keeps going, 2.64. It's pennies away now from 840. It's just lit. Oh, there we go. 840. 840 on Tesla. Congratulations to those of you in Tesla. Okay, yeah, so I was wrong. Corsair did not report earnings. They just gave they did an 8K and they reported new guidance that basically forecasted lower earnings coming. Like they basically said their Q3 earnings were way low. There's no earnings call. I mean, they were expected to do like 480 mil. They did like 390 mil. So you had a pretty sizable like 20% miss on revenue. And because the miss was so large, they're like, let's just get the bad news out of the way before earnings. And so that's essentially what they did. So there was no earnings call for me to look at. I mean, I wholly expect them to just, complain about shipping shortages. So we're in the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Yeah, just like that. We're in it. Whoa, Virgin Galactic plummeting throughout the day here. I mean, we opened up painfully, but it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. Down almost 17% today. And Ocugen really giving up a lot of that hopium that it had on news that India was pushing that Covaxin COVID drug or vaccine. Covaxin is their COVID vaccine for approval. So, okay. United Wholesale is up 4% today. Why? United Wholesale never goes up. UWMC. Hold on. While I pull that up, I want to hear this. How to play housing.
Last decade, but particularly as well over the pandemic. And whether we might see a long-term pickup in the number of transactions and how readily people change their home in future decades compared to past decades as the cost of transacting falls and the kind of tech enableization of being able to view houses a long way away without necessarily having to visit them.
I respectfully disagree, Wilf. I don't think it's different this time. I think that it's all driven by free money. And I think right now we're at a big party and everybody's getting wasted and they're enjoying the fact that rates are so low and everybody can buy a second home. Why not? Mortgage rates, you buy a 2 handle on a mortgage rate, you can absolutely afford to get another home. So there's a lot of dual dwellings. The United States are people with 3 homes. They have vacation homes. They have rental homes that they're getting a nice cash on cash return. But when you start seeing rates rise, that will change significantly and will disincentivize people to move. Remember what happened in 2018, not that long ago, when mortgage rates went from 4 to 5%, the housing market came to a screeching halt. So I don't think the technology-enabled liquidity that's being provided is going to really change that dynamic. I think that mobility is going to be very negatively impacted by the tremendous refi boom that will disincentivize homeowners in the United States to move.
I just want to zero. Oh, go ahead, Ivy. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, we always talk
Please
about real estate. There's always going to be transactions. Realtors like to talk about the 3 Ds: death, divorce, and default. The 4th D that happens in a non-sort of recessionary period would be the discretionary sale. And then you also have, we jokingly call it the diaper sales, family formation, people need more space. But I think that we have to recognize that mobility is very much impacted on discretionary purchases slowing if mortgage rates start rising.
So that's what I wanted to ask about the demographic question, since you brought that up about the aging population, because I feel like there's a little bit of a consensus right now among the bulls on the home builders and the housing market that millennials are aging, they're going to buy homes, it's a huge cohort, and it's going to keep this sort of pandemic-fueled buying going for many years to come. Do you dispute that?
Well, I think we have to appreciate that home ownership actually troughed in early 2016. And home ownership rates have been accelerating, which has been really fueled by millennials. But when you look at the decennial census numbers that came out earlier this year, we actually are seeing the young adults between the ages of 20 to 39 increasingly living at home with their parents. And those numbers we had expected would have now at least come down, because the great financial crisis, when they rose, it made sense to us because we had such a high level of unemployment. But when you fast forward to 2020 and look what happened, we actually saw those numbers increase from, call it 20% in 2010 to nearly 24% in 2020. So we see a lot more multi-generational living. And we think some of that can be explained, Sahara, by people that are unable to afford or delaying marriage, or just the change in the dynamics of our population with, today the Caucasians are actually becoming more of a minority. and many other ethnicities live in a multi-generational way like we see in Europe. So we don't think the millennials will continue to fuel the demand, because we also believe that a lot of that has already been realized. So, you think about the millennials today, the oldest in the, call it 40 range right now. I think that you have to appreciate that a lot of those people have been in the market, and we saw that start to really expand when builders started building out in the tertiary markets. When they go out in the third ring of the market, we've been seeing growth for the last 5 years, and I think that we're starting to see that peak out. But the growth that you're seeing right now is really driven by the incremental demand that's coming from non-primary buyers on top of primary buyers.
Ivy Zellman, love all the contrarian calls. Thank you so much for joining us. It's good to talk to you.
Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Wow.
You too.
That was really interesting. Bearish.
Yeah.
On the demographics, on the oversupply. Nobody's talking about an oversupply.
I know, not yet. Maybe they will be. Ivy Zellman there. Up next, Bitcoin hits its highest levels since April, and Goldman posts
Yeah, she's not happy. She's not happy at all. I mean, I don't know what to say. I think I'm going to have to probably do a longer form reaction to that one. Hey, you know what? I respect people, though, for putting out their bearish opinion on real estate. And quite frankly, real estate's been on this crazy run. You can't blame somebody for saying that it's time for real estate to have a correction, okay? You can't blame somebody for that at all. All right. So I did, by the way, just open up a couple of options trades. I'm going to send that alert to all those of you in the Stocks and Psychology of Money group right now. Sold this put and bought this call with the premium. I can't type today. With the premium. Sold this put and bought this call with this premium. All right. Cool. It's going to be interesting. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, yeah. So anytime you want all my alerts, Stocks and Psychology Money, link down below. Just posted that in the short-term trade section. So let's see what else is going on here in the market now that we heard a big old real estate rant. Okay. So that's 4 option contracts I did today. Boy, that's more than usual. Anyway, Coinbase. Wow, Coinbase is up 8% right now. It's actually, Coinbase looks like it's rallying into the close. It is. Coinbase is rallying into the close right now. Oh my gosh, Wells Fargo is up almost 7%. That's unheard of. That's crazy. Neo almost now 40%. That's crazy. I threw like 500K into them. Like 2 weeks ago or something like that. Anyway, Tesla. Wait, I just saw Tesla here. It looked like it was moving more. Oh, wow. Tesla's now 842. Oh, my gosh. It's crazy. Wow. The thing is, I keep asking myself, will this in Euphoria last? And I'm looking for negative catalysts because I want to be prepared to start selling if I need to, yeah. So, let's see here. Okay. So anyway, then Roblox has moved up again. This went down to almost $70 not that long ago. We watched. Yeah. Look at that. It went down to $69.77 on Roblox. I was watching this because it was getting back to. I was really hoping it would go down to the 65-ish range where we've had previous support levels. Didn't quite make it down that far. Didn't quite make it. All right, so then we've got, let's see here, Blue Apron, Dominoes. Dominoes getting smoked here going into the close. Hold on a sec. Dominoes, DPZ. Let's see what's going on if there's any particular news. Let's see here. Oh, congratulations, Dankst, who says, pretty much paid for my course fee. Nice. Ada trades affirmed. Dave & Buster's. Nice. I'm happy for you. So Dominoes target cut as Stevens flags threat from lack of staff. Oh, wow. Domino's Pizza CEO says U.S. needs more immigration to address nationwide worker shortage. Whoa. That's interesting. I mean, that's so Domino's moving down about 4-ish% on this. Hold on a sec. I want to make a note to do some more research on that. That Domino's CEO and worker shortage by Stevens. Cool. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. All right, so let's see what else. What's losing today? So Corsair we know is down 8%. That was yesterday. Virgin Galactic down on the delay of their commercial flight. The Covaxin vaccine not being super exciting. Smile Direct continuing to go down. A lot of the smaller, riskier SPACs still moving down. I'm shocked that Dave & Buster's keeps moving down. I don't own any Dave & Buster's. I've played options on this thing very well. But thank you, Dave & Buster's. Yeah, and I used to own a lot of shares of Dave & Buster's back when it was like $10. But boy, oh boy, it's just been getting beat up here, which I'm surprised because things should be getting better, especially in the winter. So I wonder if we're going to slowly sort of bleed back down to about that 30.92 level. I might be tempted to make that my first and only recovery stock if it keeps bleeding down. Never been such a big fan of Cheesecake Factory. I have not loved their financials. Outlet, we're waiting on news for them to turn around. Matterport, I appreciate the bleed out so I can keep building this position. I hate it when it goes over 20 because I want to keep owning it. Affirm sitting at 146, absolutely incredible. Palantir needs to move again. I mean, Palantir ran to $29. I sold my call options on it and started buying shares, which is perfect because then it was dipping as I've been buying. But the option was very juicy. But I'm surprised it didn't stick around at least like 26, 27. Fell back under 25. Peloton staying away from right now. So I closed out of everything Peloton, 3 months ago now? It's been a while. Enphase stuck at 173. It hangs out here. It did that, I'm pretty sure, in like March or April as well. See, like over here. What was this? Yeah. See, April. It hangs around this level. Where it just can't get above this sort of see this line right here, these hits. This should be, let me see here. Let me grab this. Yeah. This is about 175 right here. Frequently pops off of that. And we're seeing literally that same pop off right here. So I'm actually going to leave that line there because look over here, it's been a support. It's been a magnet over here. Resistance. I mean, this is actually a perfect line to draw for Enphase. Folks are asking me about drawing a line on Tesla, and I'm having trouble doing that. I think it pulled back a tiny though. No, it's still 841. Jeez, man. We did draw a trend line though, and it's starting to break that trend. I just drew the trend line, and it looks like it's trying to break that already. Look at that. I just drew that trend line. Well, I mean, it makes sense because I touched the high of the whatever. Okay, so it's pretty incredible. Coinbase, incredible. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and see what we got in terms of news. Oh, Tattooed Chef. Yeah, Tattooed. Ooh. Remember, folks, how many times do I say this stock just goes 16 to 24, 16 to 24, 16 to 24, right? Yeah. Higher involved than Rockets. And Archaea had the lower. There we go. So. Okay. So where was I? Oh yeah. Okay. So Tattooed Chef. Yeah. I mean, look, if we can dip back down to what we had in August over here, like this is what we do with Tattooed Chef. I mean, I don't own it right now, but you could see pretty clearly where this thing dips. It does look like it has a slight increasing trend on when it dips. Take a look at this. Oh yeah. Look at this. Holy smokes, look at this line. It's almost freaking perfect. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That's not bad. That is almost a perfect one. I'll move it up a tiny little bit here. Yeah, no, actually, tiny little bit is okay. I'm okay with that. There we go. Something like this, right? That's not bad. You got the dip over here last year. Here's your dip last year. Here's your, I don't know why Weeble's not letting me see what date this is. It's very frustrating. I'll just zoom in a little bit more. There we go. This was your end of November dip. Usually it gives me the, oh, come on, man. Come on, Weeble. No! Getting angry at Weeble. What else is new? Anyway, okay, whatever date this was, whatever date that is, whatever date this is, this looks like it was probably around May 12th. But anyway, you see this sort of higher lows trend that you're getting over here, and we're trending back to that line. So technically, if we get to, if we hit like something like this, what is that? If we break 17, that's probably where it might make sense to actually buy it on a trade. We'll see. But that's trending down. That's like perfect right now. Like, please, let's see if it behaves. That'd be too funny. I love that stock for screwing with it with technical analysis because it's just been so perfect. It's just up and down. All right. What else? Tesla, almost 3% now. Oh my gosh, it is rallying into the close. Kind of makes me nervous. Just it's too good. But when Tesla's on a trend, you usually don't want to break it. Let me see, because I want to see my December call on it. My September 22 put is up 56%. My December call is up 38% now. Oh man, I can't close it. I just can't. I can't. Kevin, thoughts on Wix? Wasn't that a SPAC? Oh, sorry, WIX. Oh no, it's not. It wasn't. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's downtrending. It's a good question.
The dollar's in fact flat, despite rising quite comfortably against the Japanese yen, as Mike said. But more interestingly, yields have risen today, having pulled back a little bit earlier in the week. We're ending with the 10-year at about 157, which partly explains bank strength, though the re-rating and the strength in earnings, the other big factor this week. At the close, up 0.75% on the S&P 500.
And that caps the Dow's best week since back in June. Welcome back, everyone, to Closing Bell. I'm Sarah Eisen here with Wilfred Frost and Mike Santoli, CNBC senior markets commentator. Take a look at how we finish up the day and the week on Wall Street. A more than 1% gain there for the Dow. It was a strong week, closing up about 1.6% overall for the week. What drove the action today? A lot of the cyclical stocks that are tied to the economy. We got a better retail sales number. That helped. Better Goldman earnings. Goldman added about 100 points to the Dow. UNH was the second biggest contributor. United Health. S&P 500 up 0.75%, almost 2% for the week. Its best week since July. The NASDAQ up 0.5% on the day, and also a big winner on the week. Technology definitely a big part of the rally story on the week. But small caps lag today, closing down about 0.4%. Coming up this hour, an FDA advisory committee meeting on vaccines, voting to recommend the booster shot for J&J's vaccine. Why the...
All right. So thank you, Sarah, for shouting out what the stock indices did today. Wanted to just mention that if you have not yet, make sure to get yourself your up to $70 in free stocks with Public by going to metcalvin.com/public. Okay. Yeah, so go to metcalvin.com/public to get yourself up to $70 in free stocks. They don't use payment for order flow. They don't buy your sell your information. And you can follow me there at Meet Kevin to see when I trade on Public, what I am trading on Public. Otherwise, check out the Stocks and Psychology of Money group. And you can get all of my buy-sell alerts, including cryptocurrency, options, and stocks. Okay. So, how did things end up? Let's see here. 23andMe, 16.88%, really on like no news. It moved off the CNBC mention and just kept going. Xpeng up 8.67. The Asian autos did really well today. BYD up 4.29%, NEO 4%, Li Auto 4.4%. Absolutely incredible. This led Tesla to finish the day 3% up. It made it to the 3% number. Congratulations, Tesla. Wow. Tesla moving up. That is an 843 close. Congrats on Tesla. The banks really, really bullish. American Express, Visa, all moving up, making up for losses they had when we first had negative news on credit card spending from JP Morgan. However, banks so bullish that and spending so bullish. This latest retail spending report that these stocks recovered very nicely. The very good food company is not having a very good stock, down 21.4%. It did run recently off pretty much no news, and it basically gave that right back up. Lemonade right back to 65, hit 70, and basically went right back to the pooper, back to 65. You've got Planet 13 down 3.25%. In my opinion, still too early on the cannabis stocks if you're waiting for any kind of like nationalized legalization. Then you've got Owlet down 2.77, still waiting for that FDA move. Matterport 1.97, CRISPR down 1.72, Nano Dimensions down at $5.60. Boy, oh boy, that one really got hit. Tattooed Chef fell into the close at 1767. We did draw a beautiful diagonal line of increasing lows for this stock, and we're hoping to get an intersect again here so we can do a little bit of shopping at the bottom. You've got a firm pretty stable here in the mid 140s. SoFi hanging out in the 19 range. Incredible. Charge point really can't keep it up over 20. Really being a little baby, just can't get it up. Wayfair has been stuck at 240, little child here. Hippo's stuck at about the 430 to 440 range. Enphase hanging out at some of its resistance levels, I should say, of around 173, 174, 175. DocuSign's been stuck around 260. Then for the unstuck stocks, Robinhood's been stuck around $40. A lot of these stocks haven't really done anything. But Square, 249, back off those lows of 220 where we were about, a week and a half ago, bought the thing at 220. You've got Cloudflare has killed it over the last month. And I was so close to buying them too. We talked about them here. We ran reports on them. I just didn't do it. It's another one of those, I'm like, dang it, that one got away. Did really well. It was like up 35 to 40% in like a month and a half. That's okay. Got a firm, got some other really good plays. Can't win them all, as they say. But that's one that I definitely had my eye on because I don't have cybersecurity exposure and I really want it. All right. What else here? Etsy, 2.4%, sitting at 221. That retail spending report certainly helped Etsy out. There's no doubt about that. Tesla, pretty much flat after hours here after being up 3% on the day. Same thing for Coinbase, flat after hours after being up almost 8% on the day. Really incredible wrap up to the day. Let's go ahead and look at Coin Market Cap here, do a little refresh here. We've got $414 on Bitcoin. Absolutely incredible. Yesterday night in Stocks and Psychology Money, I sent out my last crypto alert on picking up a little bit more Bitcoin at I think just a little over 1 Bitcoin I bought, adding to my sort of portfolio because I also bought Ethereum and ADA over the last few weeks here. I try to keep them balanced. 20, 40, 40 is sort of my spread. But anyway, that did very nicely. Good move there on BTC, so I'm happy about that. I'm going to make a video on Sheeb and Leash later today, so stay tuned for an update on this, especially Leash. Leash has been an interesting one. Okay, let's go ahead and see treasuries and oil. So oil coming in at almost 85 on that Brent oil. And treasuries at 1.57, kind of stuck there. All right. So let's see if we got any kind of headlines here. Johnson & Johnson COVID booster wins FDA advisors unanimous backing. Nice. And Moderna was delayed for adolescents, potentially because we have Pfizer, but also distractions, they say, blah, 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 blah. Tether's latest black eye is a CFTC fine about lying about its reserves. Oh my gosh. The one thing that I've constantly talked about with cryptocurrencies that make me nervous is the reserves that underlay stable coins, because especially if you think you're farming a yield and you have this currency as a savings account, essentially, and all of a sudden you're earning a yield on things like Tether or USDC or whatever, Gemini, and this money's actually being lent out and you're not aware or fully aware or comprehending that it's fully lent out when you're accepting these yields, then the underlying reserves become even more of a concern, because if the reserves cripple, then the lending market could cripple, and you could see some big ouchie wouchies in the crypto market, which a big ouchie wouchie in the crypto market that's now worth, that has exposure to $7 trillion worth of equities, including Square, Tesla, and others, Visa, MasterCard, JP Morgan, and so on. You could really hurt the market. And that's why regulators are paying attention to things like Tether right now. And so look at this. The biggest stablecoin issuer has been hit with a $41 million penalty, and Bitfinex has been fined $1.5 million. Tether will pay $41 million to settle allegations that it lied in claiming its digital tokens were fully backed by fiat currencies, putting a major compliance headache between the world's biggest issuer of stablecoins, even as regulatory scrutiny intensifies. Not a surprise to see this at all. The Tether FUD was all over the place, and it was not wrong. Remember, fear is different from fake news. I say that because sometimes we hear FUD and we just kind of write it off as fake news. But no, FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And it makes sense that there's fear, uncertainty, and doubt because there are red flags. And what do they say when there's smoke, there's fire, right? Anyway, for years, Tether told customers in the broader crypto market that it had $1 in reserve for every token. However, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission said Friday in a statement, well, that's what they said in the statement, reiterating that. However, the claim was wildly misleading, according to the agency. For example, from June to September of 2017, there was never more than $61.5 million backing Tether, even as roughly 442 million coins were circulating at one point. No way! Oh my gosh, that's 61.5 only represents 14%, folks. 14% backing on Tether. That's horrible in 2017. That's horrible. I mean, that goes way back to 17, but that's not a good reputation. 14%, and you're saying it's 1-to-1? That's very dishonest. This case highlights the expectation of honesty and transparency in the rapidly growing and developing digital assets market. I completely agree with that. I mean, I personally think this is the kind of regulation that we really do need. If companies are telling us, hey, don't worry, our stablecoin is backed 1-to-1, then prove it. And make it clear to people with proper disclosure that if they're getting a yield, their money's being lent out and that they do not have claims to the underlying asset. That's the big thing. People think, even though I'm getting a yield, oh, it's okay, it's backed 1-to-1, I could always exchange it for $1. No, you can't if you're taking a yield, because then it's being lent out. Tether is widely used to trade Bitcoin and other tokens, making it pivotal to the crypto market. That's because the coin allows quick transactions, largely immune to volatile price swings as a function of its 1-to-1 peg. But many traders have long been skeptical that Tether genuinely had money backing the coins it claimed. More recently, the Treasury Department and other federal agencies have been alarmed by the stablecoin's dramatic growth. There are now Tethers worth about $69 billion in circulation, prompting concerns that crypto market disruptions could trigger chaotic fire sales, right? This is basically what I just described. In its enforcement action, they say Tether failed to disclose what they were holding. Especially, this is the other thing. They have a lot of, here, look at this. Unsecured receivables, which are like promises to repay cash, and non-fiat assets, which could in theory be other cryptocurrencies, which is weird because like if Tether is backing its coin with other Bitcoin, that would be odd, right? or a lot of junk bonds potentially. Like there was a lot of fear when the Evergrande crisis happened that Tether was investing in Evergrande junk bonds. Turns out they weren't, or so they say, and so some of that fear was sort of alleviated for Tether. Falsely told investors it would undergo routine professional audits to determine that it maintained 100% reserves at all time, but in fact, Tether reserves weren't audited until at least 2018. Tether manually kept tabs on its reserve levels, a process that wasn't updated in real time. Tether didn't admit or deny the Commodity Future Trading Commission's allegations, and Tether agreed to resolve the matter in order to move forward and focus on the future, the company said in a statement posted on the website. Bitfinex also hit. And this follows a February settlement between the New York Attorney General, Bitfinex, and several Tether affiliates of hiding losses and lying that each token was supported by $1. Then the companies together agreed to pay an $18.5 million fine without admitting or denying claims. Okay. Treasury officials are preparing to release reports on stable coins. That's going to be interesting, that report. I'm excited for that. And the GME report. I'm looking for that one. And officials are also discussing whether to launch a formal review by the Financial Stability Oversight Council into whether or not the tokens pose a systemic economic threat. I think they probably do pose some form of systemic threat. Again, $7 trillion, even though the crypto market's like $2 trillion, because there's so many stocks, like companies, right? Companies that sell their shares on the stock market that have exposure to crypto, whether they're miners, whether they're, JP Morgan, Visa, whatever, trying to transact, right? Like Square, Cash App. These are exposures, even public, where you could get a free stock worth all the way up to $70 by going to medkevin.com/public. They're exposed to crypto as well, right? A lot of private equity also exposed to crypto. NFTs, lots of this. Liquidity crisis in crypto would be pretty bad for a lot of things. But anyway, Tether is a key focus of government scrutiny. Don't forget, also, though, you have things like USDC and the Gemini dollar that have a lot of similarities. Maybe not as much as Tether, but still, the fact that it's being lent out is still a similarity. But anyway, that's interesting on Tether. Fascinating. At least now this kind of puts this behind us, though, which is good. Hopefully now we can go forward with a cleaner slate. But anyway, in the meantime, thank you so very much for watching. Check out the programs linked down below on Building Your Wealth. Get that 41% off coupon code before October 29th. Make sure to get your free stock with Public worth all the way up to $70 by going to medkevin.com/public. And folks, we will see you in the very next video. Thanks.